start off with an easy one. Can you tell me your name, your title, and the organization you're with?
So I'm Joel Obstfeld. I'm a distinguished engineer within Cisco and as part of Cisco's Chief Technology and Architects Office.
Great. Can you tell me a little bit about your role at Cisco?
So I'm leading a team of people who are looking at the future of connected vehicles, connected and automated transport systems. So not just the vehicle, but what it connects to, the roadway around it, the larger environment, smart cities, and how this connected future is actually going to be put together, what all the various components are, how do we actually make this amazing future happen, because somebody's got to build it.
Great. Why was Cisco interested in becoming a part of AECC?
So Cisco's involvement in the AECC goes back to engagements directly with vehicle manufacturers, not only in Japan, but in other parts of the world. Also our current involvement with roadway operators as well. And we're involved in a number of other initiatives in and around the transportation sector. So this is an area and an industry which Cisco's been involved in for many, many years. But this opportunity, and specifically with the scope and charter of what AEC is looking to do, is of particular interest. This is kind of looking at, okay, this is not necessarily a cellular network or a Wi-Fi based network. This is actually taking a look at what is the data, how do we actually move the volumes of data that we're talking about from a global fleet of vehicles at global scale for the benefit not only of the automakers on the one side, but ultimately for the users of these systems, because there has to be a reason why we're going to build these kinds of capabilities. It's not just for the vehicle makers. People who are using these transportation systems have to be beneficiaries too. So this is really interesting for us.
So you talk about many people being beneficiaries of this industry and the data. Tell me a little bit about where you see the future of the connected vehicle going and what types of business opportunities are available not only to Cisco but to other industries.
Yeah, so when we look at the future, when we're looking at what does a connected environment actually start to put together, we have to think beyond just it's a connected vehicle. What is it connecting to? We found something very interesting working with a particular company where they're using a particular sensor set that's actually able to count people, but they're able to count people in a way which doesn't invade any kind of privacy. They had never actually considered being able to take that kind of information that they get just as part of what they do normally, the fact that there are other organizations who find that kind of information incredibly valuable. So for example, city authorities would love to know how many people are on the streets in particular areas. For all sorts of urban planning reasons, even transportation reasons, where are densities, where are hotspots. So they actually had this information. They just never thought that there might be another set of people who would be really interested in the information that they're generating anyway. It's these kinds of really interesting intersections that we want to try and explore. And particularly when you think of a connected vehicle as an increasingly an intelligent sensor platform able to understand its environment, who else can use that kind of information? Not just the vehicle makers, not just the regular users, roadway authorities, city authorities, a whole bunch of different possibilities start to open up once we start to get to a position of taking that data, cracking it open and start to extract the value in lots of different ways for lots of different kinds of beneficiaries. So this is really kind of interesting, really kind of exciting, and it's already happening. You might not realize it, but connected cars are already here today. They're going to get more and more of these things, and they get more intelligent, and they have different kinds of sensor capabilities. So this is something where the future isn't there, the future is coming, and it's right here today.
Awesome. You are really involved in the AECC from a number of different levels, right? You're a board member, you're in working group 1, you're in working group 2, you're on the 6. So tell me, that's a loaded question, but tell me a little bit about the work the AEC is doing and maybe the different working groups and the importance of the work that they're doing. And second to that is we'll be releasing a new technical document. So if you want to talk a little bit about the technical report and the importance of that.
All right, so we have a number of different elements within the ACC structure. Work group 1 focused primarily on what are these use cases, trying to move away from sort of very high level descriptions as to what are the kinds of things that we're talking about, to something a little more tangible and starting to derive requirements from that. So part of the work that goes on there is being able to take input from vehicle manufacturers or the tier 1 providers and then turn that into